Storytime. My girlfriend wants me to propose again because she didn't like where I did it the first time. I decided to propose to my girlfriend of 3 years on our 3rd anniversary. I flew her to Vietnam, and after a couple of weeks traveling, we ended up in Cambodia. These were all places that were on her bucket list. After a long day of hiking in the heat through ruins, we retired back to our hotel, and when we were alone together, I proposed and she said yes. She took a shower, and I laid in bed thinking what an amazing day I just had and how I would get to spend the rest of my life with the woman I loved. When she came out of the shower, she was in tears. She handed me back the ring, saying she couldn't accept it because she didn't want her memory of my proposal to be in a hotel room. I played it cool and said I understood, but truthfully it hurt. I took her halfway around the world and helped her cross something that she wanted to do most of her adult life. I felt that if she valued me, it wouldn't matter that the proposal wasn't exactly what she wanted. It was me and our future together she was saying yes to and not my delivery. If she found $1 million in a dumpster, she wouldn't throw it back because of where it came from. So she can't possibly value me or what I have to offer as an individual. I'm preparing to end things when we get back. But am I wrong? Should I do it over?
So this couple comes in together to buy an engagement ring, and they had a budget of about $20,000, which is a lot for an engagement ring. But the ring that she happened to pick out was about $35,000, which is a lot of money. And she was really adamant about picking it, and he was kind of reserved, like, it is a lot of money. But she was like, no, if you love me, you'll buy it, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, you know what? You're gonna be my wife, the mother of my kids, whatever makes you happy. So after they finally decide, I pack it up for them. I'm like, here you go. Have a great marriage. Have a great life. Goodbye. About 3 weeks later, the fiance comes in, and I'm thinking she just wants to get the ring size or something. And she's like, can you guys take out the diamond and replace it with a cubic zirconium? Cubic zirconium is a very cheap substitute for a diamond. So I was like, yeah, we can do that, but just give us 2 or 3 days. So she leaves, and I call her fiance because I was like, oh, this is really suspicious. And he had no idea that she came into the shop or that she was coming in. So he calls me 2 days later, and he finds out that she was going to break up with him. She would have kept that diamond, and she would have given him the fake one. He would have returned it, and he would have gotten no money back. Talk about me.
I was putting away my boyfriend's laundry and found a ring in one of his drawers. My boyfriend has always been an introvert. I travel a lot for work and I'm gone at least once a week, a month, sometimes more. I thought this was good because he likes to have time to himself. He had a lot of hobbies and spent a lot of time with his friends playing games while I was gone. He worked, but his hours and pay were better. I got a managerial position and almost didn't take it because I would be gone even more. He told me to do it and we needed to save for our future and our kids. We talked about marriage and what he wanted. We also looked at engagement rings together online. The one that I liked is the one he bought. I thought it was for me and I got so excited about it. I was stupid and let it slip to my best friend that I found the ring. She told my boyfriend, and that's when they sat me down and told me the truth. My best friend told me she's been sleeping with him for the past 3 years, like she was proud of it. My boyfriend told me he's in love with her, that she was there for him more. I didn't understand it at first because he told me to take the position and yet he made dumb excuses like that. They were sleeping together behind my back for 3 years, and then they had the audacity to ask me to move out. I made my now ex pack all of his stuff and leave the apartment immediately. I'm completely devastated.
Story time about one of the most embarrassing things that has ever happened to me in high school. So a little background information. I was in my freshman year of high school. Well, spring break was coming up. Well, the whole year, my friend and I hadn't been to one single party. So we decided that we wanted to try and go to a party every single day of spring break, which was about to be super difficult because we had to worry about my strict-ass parents and my neighbors. A little background info on my neighbor. My neighbor is this girl who's in my same grade, and she literally hates my guts. I don't know why, but literally anything that I do, she'll go and she'll tell her mom, and then her mom will tell my mom, because my mom and her mom are best friends. But before we know it, Saturday comes around, and we go back to school on Monday. We did not make it to one single party. Well, later that night, we found out that one of our friends was throwing one. So around 11 o'clock, everybody's sleeping, and I walk out my back door, hop over my fence, and I start heading towards the road where my friend was going to be parked. You know, who do I see fucking sitting outside on their porch reading a fucking book? My fucking neighbor. Like for part 2. About the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in high school. So like I said, the bitch that I hate is sitting out on her porch reading a fucking book at 11 o'clock at night. So I crouch down so she couldn't see me. I run to the car and my friend and I finally go to the party. Well, we get to that party and it's really boring, so we decided to go to a different one. And the party that we were about to go through was being thrown by the kid that I really liked. So I start hanging out with him when we get there. I'm drinking a lot, having so much fun, and I really have to go to the bathroom. And I didn't know where anything was at all, so I grabbed my friend and we're looking around everywhere for the bathroom. Because when I asked him, he was super drunk and really couldn't explain to me where the bathroom was. So we were pretty much left to fend for ourselves. But we ended up not being able to find a bathroom, and this is where I had to improvise. So my friend and I go to the laundry room, and we see the litter box in there for the cat. Well, at this point, I was desperate, so I just went in the litter box. Well, 30 minutes later, the cops show up to the party. And everybody had to hurry up and leave because we did not want to get underages. Like for part 3. 3 about the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in high school. So like I said, I went in the litter box and then the cops showed up. We all ran because we didn't want to get underages. I was able to sneak back into my house without anybody knowing. But when I get to school on Monday, everybody's talking about the party. And apparently the kid that I liked who threw the party, his parents didn't know that he threw one at all. And this was like during first period. So I went to text him and ask him if he was grounded because we were supposed to hang out the next day. And I realized that I am blocked. So I'm thinking, what the fuck? Why does he have me blocked? So I told my friend that he blocked me, and she goes, it's probably because he saw what you did in the laundry room. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that he knows. Because there was a door that led to the outside in the laundry room, there were cameras in there. So everybody saw this video of me. People were posting it on their Finstas, posting it on their Snapchat stories. It was so fucking embarrassing. Not to mention, the bitch that I hate who lives next door showed my parents the fucking video, and I was grounded for fucking 4 months.
I have a best friend of 9 years, and we've run into a major problem just recently. First of all, she's very attractive but has terrible luck with men. Men treat her like shit, so she doesn't trust them. I've been in a serious relationship for almost a year, so my boyfriend has met all of my friends. From day one, my best friend took an instant liking to him. They're both hilarious, so they laugh like maniacs whenever they're around one another. They're extremely entertaining together because they feed off each other's personality and energy. Everyone loves it except for me. It's obvious she has feelings for him. I spoke to my best friend about this, and she admitted to having a crush on him. The problem is, she won't back off. My boyfriend says I have nothing to worry about. However, she went behind my back and bought him the new Xbox One for Christmas. She stole my idea. She knows I was going to buy him this for Christmas because I told her. She's given my boyfriend tons of hints, so he already knows what she got him. So now I'm gonna look like the asshole if I ask him to reject the gift. Plus, he's going all out for her Christmas gift as well since she spent so much on him. This is not okay with me. I've noticed that whenever we're together with my boyfriend, she always tries to make herself look better and subtly puts me down in tiny ways. I'm seriously tempted to end my friendship. My boyfriend says I'm overreacting. What should I do? When my grandma passed away, she left each of her grandkids money to put them through college debt-free. But this fund stayed in our parents' names until we turned 18. My sister got pregnant her sophomore year of high school. She was panicking about college. The baby daddy left and she hasn't tried to find him to get child support. All of that stress caused a hard, complicated pregnancy, but both are okay. She graduated this last December with about $2,000 in debt. I figured she used all the money grandma left for her pregnancy and had to take out a loan. I got accepted to my dream college, but my mom was insistent that I stay local to save money. I told her grandma left me more than enough, but that's when she told me. They used all the money that was supposed to go to me to take care of my sister and her kid and her expensive pregnancy. I broke down and just lost it crying. I was shouting how they screwed me over for the kid that fucked up. My sister got upset and asked me if I'd rather have had her live on the street unable to raise her child so I can go to college and have a good life. I said yes, it's not fair that she fucked up, got drunk, and slept with so many guys she doesn't know who the baby daddy is. But I'm the one who has to be punished for it. The argument got too heated, so I left. Did I go too far? I feel screwed over because I'm being punished despite being the one that followed the rule.
Storytime of how my best friend got so weirdly obsessed with me that she even plotted to kill my boyfriend. So at the time, me and this girl, let's just call her Olivia, had only been friends for about 2 years. I mean, we really did everything together. We were with each other 24/7, and I mean, we were pretty good friends. But the only thing about our friendship is she did not like when I had other friends. I mean, she didn't have any other friends herself, but literally she would joke around about strangling my other friends because she didn't like when I gave my attention to anyone else. But honestly, I just thought of it as a joke. And then I started dating this guy, let's just name him Jacob. He was probably the sweetest guy I had ever met, and he was a real simp for me. So we started dating and about 4 or 5 months go by, and he started getting these texts from a random number. And it would always be cringy things like leave her or you die, get away from her, and like stupid cringy threats. Then one night me and him were just hanging out. Then he gets a text with his exact address saying he had till tonight to leave me or he wouldn't see another day. Then we hear a knock at the door. I'm running out of time, like for part 2.
Story time! So when I was in 8th grade, all my friends wore thongs, and I thought it was really cool how, like, they bent over, like, on a chair, and just the little thong triangle popped out of the jeans. So I wanted a thong triangle. So then when we went to the mall, we passed Charlotte Russe, and I pretended that I bought thongs all the time, and that I needed new ones, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I need to buy thongs. So we went to, like, that $5 bin, and I got white thong with red cherries. So I was like, you guys, I need to change into my thong because like my underwear is so uncomfortable. So I went into the bathroom at the mall and I put the thong on. So then the whole time I was so uncomfortable, it was hurting. My parents picked me up from the mall, and then when I got home, I'm like, Mom, I got a thong. This is so uncomfortable and it's hurting. Is it supposed to feel like? And Mom goes, let me see. And I come out and she goes, yeah, well, you put it on.
This is why you should always keep pictures of your parents. A little girl named Olivia who lived a very quiet life decided to check her homework assignments that were posted online. The teacher posted that they needed to write down their favorite memory with their family as well as bring a photograph. Olivia then writes about how her and her mom play dolls every night in the basement before bed and that she has a lot of fun doing so. She finishes her paragraph and then looks in her dad's drawer for a photograph of mom. She only found pictures of her mom from high school but decided to use it anyway. Olivia goes to bed and wakes up the next morning. Once she arrives at school, the teacher then says, let's start presenting our project. Then the teacher called Olivia's name to present. Olivia then begins to read about how her and her mom play dolls every night and then pulls out the photograph. As soon as Olivia pulled out the photograph, her teacher's face goes numb. She then asks Olivia if she can take a closer look at the photograph. She then recognized her mom as one of her previous students. Then the teacher asks, where did you get this photo? Olivia says, my dad keeps them in his drawer. The teacher, shocked, sits down Olivia and pulls out an old newspaper. The newspaper headline, local high school teen murdered, boyfriend gone missing. The teacher then looks at Olivia and says, your mom has been dead for 14.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
So when Kinley was 2 or 3, I'm pretty sure she was 2, but either way, she talked very well at a young age. She told us that she died before. And we're like, what? No, you haven't. She was like, yeah, I died before. I used to be a girl named Angelique, and then I came back to you and became Kinley. Creeped out completely. So I was like, okay, well, how did you die? And she was like, well, I was a stripper. She's 2. And a group of men stabbed me to death because I spoke out for girls that liked other girls, and they didn't like that. They hated it. So instead of just letting me be me, they killed me. She's 2. She told us where she was stabbed, and she has a birthmark right where she was stabbed.
What is the most unprofessional thing a doctor has ever said to you?
So listen, I've got a story for you. I was 29 and I wanted my 3rd kid, and so I went to my gyno and I was like, hey, can I get my birth control out? And he straight up told me, no, you have no right having a 3rd child. You're 29, you're diabetic, you've had a stillbirth. No, I'm not going to take that risk on my medical license. No way. So I went to my endocrinologist. My endocrinologist, she got pissed, fucking livid. And she filed a report, and he got in big trouble for it and ended up having to do it for me. So I had my 3rd kid, and then the placenta had an issue that was no fault of mine, and we ended up having to have an emergency C-section, where instead of tying my tubes, he removed them. So I no longer had the option, but then didn't report it. And I didn't find out until I had a hysterectomy this year. So not only did he say something, he did something.